All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look. You're working with coordinate grids again today. So far with coordinate grids, we've done a few things. The first thing we did was just identify basic points. So my yellow one right here, that would have been at the ordered pair, 6, 2. That's its coordinates. Because remember, we do our x-axis going across first, that number, and then we do our vertical y-axis number next. And notice, even here, this very simple one, it's labeled X and Y. X goes across. All right, we always do that one first, okay? It does matter because if you switch the orders around, someone else's instead, they're going to be going 2, 6. So if you put the order down there wrong, it's going to change things quite a bit. So you got to make sure that we always make sure the X number goes first and then the Y number. Now, besides doing that, you also did one more thing. So last week you are also able to take something like this. So take 2 points, and you were able to draw another point or another 2 points and let that be able to figure out a shape that you would build. So if I wanted to draw, say, a right triangle, I would draw something right along here. And that way, when we connect these 3 points, I'm making a right triangle, okay? And then we also did things about once you've had a shape, what's a point that's inside of the shape. So we've done lots of little things like that. Today it's going to move a little bit beyond that. So for today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at not just finding a particular point or using it. We're going to talk about maybe directions, using it for a purpose, okay? We talked about in my class that, part of the reason they do this is basic mapping skills. Well, you'd want to be able to use some sort of directions for that. So let's take a look and think about the directions from one place to another place. So if I was, say, starting at the origin, which is a word you have to know for coordinate grids, we would know where we're starting, right? Obviously, origin, the word that starts with that, is going to be starting right here at 0. Origin 0, 0. It's starting here. Now, if I wanted to describe somebody who was standing here at the origin, how to get over to the yellow circle, right? I could give directions. I could use directions by basically explaining how far over to the right, to the left, up, or down you would need to go. Now, ideally, the best strategy right now would be for you to start off by talking about your rights and left first, because we should just get in the habit of the X direction always happens first. So if I'm at the origin at 0, 0 and I want to get to the yellow, I would have to move over to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. So I could tell someone, go right 6 spots or 6 blocks or whatever you want to refer to it as, and then go up 1, 2 blocks. Okay, so that would be my directions from the origin to the yellow one. Now let's say, for example, though, that I wasn't starting at the origin. Let's say instead I'm starting at this purple square up here. Now if I'm starting at the purple square and I want directions to this yellow circle, going to the right 6 and up 2 is not much of a benefit. I'm way over here off the field altogether. So we would think about, well, how would I get from this purple one to the yellow one? Now, instead of moving to the right, now I'm moving 1, 2, 3, 4 spots to the left. And now instead of moving up, I'm moving down. So I go 1, 2, 3 spots down. So to get from the purple square to the yellow circle, I'm going 4 spots to the left and then 3 spots down, or blocks, however you want to refer to it. Okay. So directions is definitely one of those things that we want to pay attention to. Just really paying attention to the order that we're doing things in. The biggest trick that I've normally seen with this that throws people off is people will ask questions like multiple choice questions. They'll ask, well, how do you get from the purple square to the yellow circle? And then they'll say, oh, well, what you do is you go right 4 and then up 3. And those are directions that would get you from here to here, except those get you directions from the yellow to the purple, not from the purple square down to the yellow circle. So pay attention. Make sure you know what your starting point is and what your ending point is. okay? That's really going to help you because they often like to give in multiple choice tests, they like to give you the reverse, the opposite directions to see if you actually understood the question of where you're starting from and where you're going to. All right, so that's definitely something to watch out for. Other than that, today you've got just a quick assignment. There's 10 questions in there. It is a graded assignment. Now, it's not a quiz or a test, but we need to make sure before we go on to patterns, we need to make sure that you know how to graph and use this coordinate grid because we're going to need it for our next unit. So today you're going to have questions about how to identify points. You're going to have questions about shapes. You're going to have questions about how to get from one spot to another spot. All right, those are all things that we're going to be practicing and doing today. Now, they're very simple if you're taking your time, and you always remember that every time we do something, okay, let me make sure I write it down. Every time we do something, it's always the x coordinate first and then the y coordinate. We always go over and then up or down, over and then up, okay? That's our goal. We should always be doing the x first and then the y. So we always go horizontally and then vertically. That's our goal today. If you remember that, coordinate grids should be pretty easy for you. All right, so I hope that helps, and I will see you tomorrow for a new topic. Oh, and just in case, if you have a bunch of graph paper left, you're going to need that in the next couple of days again when we do more patterns. So don't throw it all away. You still need pattern paper, okay, or graph paper. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.